Okay, guys. So once again, good evening. So yesterday we discussed about continuation of the definitions part. What are we discussed day before yesterday? So once again, in the today class and tomorrow class also, I will explain about the definitions itself. So yesterday, what are we discussed? Those topics are. So we discussed about LAN, we discussed about WAN, and also we discussed about MAN and PAN, wireless LAN, and also virtual LAN. Even we discussed about WAN interface, that is also called as internet interface. Along with that one, we discussed about domain controller and also Active Directory. Along with that one, we discussed two more other topics. Those topics are authentication and authorization. So these are the definition we discussed yesterday. So from there, we will continue. So let's start now. Next one is vulnerability. So in general, what is meant by vulnerability? Any weakness in the system. So that is called vulnerability. When I say in the system, that maybe it is applicable to organization point of view, related to information security. In the similar way, that may be application development point of view or application security point of view, or endpoint security point of view, or physical security point of view, network security point of view, cyber security point of view, and cloud security point of view. So any weakness or loophole or problem, so our issue, we can call it as a vulnerability. Okay. So how we can define this one now? Any weakness or problem or loophole or issue in the system or organization is called as vulnerability. So now security point of view, I'll explain what are the different types of vulnerabilities it will be there in the organization point of view. So on the endpoint security side, if you don't install DLP agent on each and every laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop, now what will happen? And also even if you don't control related to security policies like device control, peripheral control, or else sending the mails from professional to personal, vice versa. In the similar way, accessing the websites related to large amount of the data, for example, uploading the data and also downloading of the data. Additionally, even in the cloud as well. So data can be leaked if you don't implement sufficient controls related to identity and access management. So this is one type of data exfiltration or sensitive data exposure or data breach or data violation. So that is on the endpoint side. I'm repeating once again. In the endpoint security side, if you don't implement DLP related security solution or configuration, or confidential or sensitive or private or restricted data can be accessed by our internal employees or else maybe external attackers. So that is one type of weakness. So to rectify this particular issue, now what we have to do, we have to implement DLP security solution on the endpoint or network or cloud side. So what is the rectification for this particular vulnerability? Implement data loss or a data leak. By the way, DLP full form is data loss or a data leak prevention. Implement DLP solution on the network, nothing but network DLP, endpoint, nothing but endpoint DLP, cloud DLP, and also wireless DLP. So these are all the different types of DLP solutions we have to implement to protect our sensitive data or confidential data or also restricted data or privacy of the organization. So that is about endpoint security. So next one, this is one of the vulnerability. So issue here is, so DLP solution is not implemented using DLP agent. So that is the vulnerability. That is on the endpoint security side. On the physical security side, maybe we are not implemented access card or biometric or CCTV cameras. So in that scenario, for example, take CCTV cameras. We don't know who is entering into the organization and who we don't know who is leaving from the organization. In the similar way, if we don't implement access card, So then we don't know when the employee is entering into the organization, whether he is working 9 hours in the shift or not. In the similar way, when he is leaving away from the organization. So that is related to access card. Biometric. Couple of companies, they will implement biometric or fingerprints. So these issues also, if you don't implement that one, is a vulnerability or a problem or a weakness or a issue in the physical security point of view. Okay. So not implemented in the organization. Now what we have to do to rectify this one? We have to implement all these solutions. Next one, password policy side. If you are implementing clear text or plain text or weak passwords. So now what attacker will do, he will try to do trial and error method, and he will try to compromise our credentials so that he will gain the unauthorized access or sensitive data exposure. Later he will gain the or data or information. Okay, so thereafter that he will do blackmailing of the respective organization. He will expect money, or maybe he will take the data directly, or else maybe he will expect cryptocurrency related to bitcoins and so on. So that is the reason every organization has to maintain strong password policies. So this is one of the weakness. If you are using weak passwords or plain text or clear text passwords, so that is on the password policy side. So next one on the application security side. So we have to use always HTTPS connection, and we should not use HTTP. So what is the weakness here now, or what is the loophole, or what is the problem or issue? So whatever websites we are developing, without any certificates, we are developing the application or website. It will not provide any confidentiality. It will not provide any authentication, authorization, non-repudiation, and finally, whatever data you are accessing through websites. So attacker will try to do OASP top 10 category of the attacks. Then he will do man in the middle attack or session hijacking or URL manipulation or URL redirection. Then he will try to get unauthorized access. So what is the loophole here? So HTTP connect should not be implemented for applications or websites. To eliminate this drawback, now what we have to do? Always our applications must be HTTPS connection using SSL over TLS communication with TLS 1.3. So that is the latest version using cryptographic controls like symmetric and also asymmetric. So that is on the application security point of view. In the network security point of view, so I will give one more example. You are not implementing any firewall misconfiguration, or else you are not implementing proxy. So proxy is also called as a web gateway, or you are not implementing NADS or NAPS. So all these solutions are called as perimeter level solutions, or else we can call it as a network related solution. Yesterday interview question. So what are the different types of network security related solutions you will implement? What are the different types of network security related policies you will configure? So to take care of the network security related solutions, we have to implement in the perimeter or networking side. So firewalls or next generation firewalls or proxy or network IDS or network IPS. So these three solutions we have to implement. If you don't implement, obviously that is a weakness. So that is about couple of examples of vulnerabilities on the endpoint security side, network security side, application security side, and also so password policies oriented. So this is applicable to each and every technology, not only security related, because we are discussing about cyber security or information security or endpoint network and so on. So I given examples related to the security point of view. So even maybe example take maybe application development. or product development or mobile development. So they will use maybe CI/CD pipeline, part of the SDLC life cycle. And if you don't implement the sufficient role-based access control, or maybe if you don't implement sufficient segregation of the duties, who is developing what? So then whenever any coding or code or program will be deleted by respect to coder or programmer related to application development, that may be Java or ASP.NET or maybe microservice related applications. So now we don't have any idea who has done deleting of the code. So that is on the application development and product development and mobile development side. So these vulnerabilities is not only applicable to our security point of view, these vulnerabilities, but also applicable to even other security technologies as well. Okay. So that is about vulnerability. Now I'm moving to next topic, that is called threat. So if these vulnerabilities, whatever examples I given, what attacker will do now, he will identify the weakness, then he will try to exploit that vulnerability. Once he will try to exploit that one, obviously our system will get compromised. Now what attacker or hacker or intruder or threat actor will do, he will ask about monetary function, or maybe he will take our data, or maybe he will so ask bitcoins or any digital currency as well. So that is about threat. Now how we can define this threat? If the vulnerability or weakness will be exploited, then it will become threat to our nation. Okay, so as I said, example, take endpoint security. If you're not implemented DLP agent, now what attacker will do? So attacker will take our confidential data by compromising the respective servers or databases or endpoints. So now what is threat here? Our data is getting compromised. So that is one of the example. So that is about threat part. Next one is a risk. So risk, there are several definitions are there for risk. So those definitions are, first one, vulnerability equals to, risk equals to vulnerability into threat. And also one more definition, risk equals to likelihood into impact. And finally, destruction of damage. That may be endpoint side or server side or any other cloud side or application side. So the damage is a risk to us. Okay, so these are all the different types of definition. Whenever if you are explaining about risk, always please refer. So risk equals to vulnerability into threat, or risk equals to likelihood into impact. So most of the cases in the several companies interviews, they will ask these three definitions. What is vulnerability? What is threat? And what is risk? So couple of companies, they will ask even one of the practical scenario as well. Okay. So those practical scenarios are our real-time world. For example, maybe one of the unknown guest or user is entering into the organization. There are no CCTV cameras. What is vulnerability? What is threat? And what is risk? Can you give anyone what is the answer for this one? I'm repeating once again, practical scenario. We don't have CCTV cameras. We don't have the access cards. One of the unknown person, our guest is entering into our organization. So in that scenario, what is vulnerability and what is threat and what is risk? What is vulnerability?
So
Access
coming and
cards are
unauthorized access.
Vulnerability not
Coming
having
and
access control.
unauthorized access is called as vulnerability, and unauthorized authorization called as threat, and seeking or storing something else on the place will be called as risk.
exactly. So there are three different things here. Vulnerability, there are no access controls
Access
are existing.
controls.
Yeah, that's correct. So that is vulnerability. What is threat here? So in case if you don't have the access control list, maybe he will take our furniture, maybe he will take our organization laptop or desktop, and he will go away. So that is threat here. Now what is risk is involved after going and taking the our laptop or else maybe MacBook or workstation desktop, he will dismantle our physical hardware laptop, and he can take our external hard disk and he can copy the data to his hard disk or his laptop. So it's a physical damage, or sorry, it's a physical theft basically. So there he is copying our data. That is risk. In case that particular so laptop whatever he stolen, so that is belongs to CEO laptop. In that scenario, so finally our business oriented objectives, goals, vision, strategy and mission of the company will be damaged. And what are projects we are getting, what are business we are doing with all over the worldwide, all those critical data will be there in that particular maybe hard disk. So that is risk is involved here. So that is one of the example. Second practical example, in the Capgemini they asked about this particular question. I repeated several times this particular question as well. One of the person is sleeping on the bed and he is using mosquito net. That mosquito net has a hole. Now what is vulnerability, what is threat and what is risk?
Having a hole in your mosquito net is your vulnerability.
Exactly.
Uh, threat is like what do you say? A risk. I would like to say, if at all we don't have this mosquito coil, there might be chances that these mosquitoes can enter through your hole.
Yes. And what is risk now?
Risk is you after if at all you're not using these access controls like the mosquito coil properly and the mosquito net, there would be chances that you have been bit by the mosquitoes and you probably get a malaria or typhoid, something like that.
Perfect answer. Excellent. So whatever he said, absolutely right. So hole is a vulnerability here. Biting a mosquito to that particular person who are sleeping on the cot, it's like a threat. And getting the malaria, it's like a completely so risk is involved. So that is one of the second example. So this is the way how always you can correlate with our practical world. Software and IT is nothing but whatever we are using our day-to-day activities. So that is nothing but IT and software. For easy, convenient purpose, we developed our softwares, our information technology, instead of the manual way, right? So this is the way always please correlate that maybe cyber security or maybe information security or endpoint security to our practical day-to-day activities. Okay. So most of the people will not do that. So most of the people, whatever they are working, I have seen practically, so they will work on whatever instance it is coming via SIM tool or EDR tool or firewall or proxy. They will not think about how the business is going to impact. So what is the confidentiality issue it will occur? What are the integrity related issues will occur? What are the availability issues will occur? But on the other hand, if you are a mobile developer or maybe application developer or product developer or machine learning guy or a testing tools guy, so they will think about practical scenario. They want to test one of the application through load runner test or Selenium testing tool or performance test or feature test. So they will test about latency and performance, how the feature is working and what the functionality whenever any end user is accessing the application or app. So that is the way how always they'll think about business point of view. But most of the people I have seen in the cybersecurity field or network or endpoint security cloud related, they will not think about business. They will think about only dedicated to security. But always we have to correlate whatever security we are doing, how the business is going to align and how the business is going to impact. Then only you will understand about overall security and how this security is going to impact. So our organization point of view. Okay. So now risk has a very important so category, and also risk is very important on the each and every security point of view. That may be endpoint or network or application or cloud and so on. It's one of the trending technology right now in the market. It's called GRC. It's a part of information security. So example take our personal life, if you don't have the insurance related to your car or maybe your health or maybe your life insurance, whenever any issue will occur, so whether will we get any money back? No, we will not get any money. So in this similar way, so always we have to do the risk assessment. We have to do the risk assessment and we have to do the risk analysis and we have to identify the risk prior to that one. Even we have to do the mitigation as well. How the risk can be approved or risk can be mitigated or risk can be transferred or risk can be, okay, so reduced. So this is one of the trending technology right now in the market. Most of the companies are recruiting GRC vacancies, that is belongs to JP Morgan, Morgan and Stanley, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Citibank, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, State Bank of India, and so on. Not only on the, so these banking sector related vacancies, even so other healthcare industries like, so that may be pharma based, healthcare based. So each and every company, basically risk assessment is very, very important. So this scope is increasing a lot. And here we have to take care of the auditing as well. So in-depth analysis, I'm going to discuss part of our GRC, and our job vacancy is completely depending on auditing side. So we have to take care of the internal audit, and whenever any external auditor will come, we should coordinate with the respective external auditors, that may be NCC Corporation or Deloitte or KPMG or PwC or Ernst and Young. So these are the very, very famous auditing companies. So yeah, coming back, in-depth analysis, I will discuss part of our GRC. So that is about overall vulnerability, threat, and risk. So let's move into some other topic. Virus, malware. Already we discussed in the first class itself. I already explained malware. It's a malicious software program code. So this malicious software program code will be developed by the attacker or hacker. And after that, what he will do? He will try to inject that malware or malicious code into the targeted machine. So then finally, he will compromise the system based on the cyber kill chain process. Then he will gain the unauthorized access. So that is about malware and how the attacker will do cyber kill chain process hacking part related to offensive mechanism. Okay. So now virus is a completely malicious software program code. Now antivirus. What is virus opposite? What is virus opposite?
Antivirus.
Antivirus. Its opposite to virus is antivirus. What antivirus will do? It will prevent, yeah, it will do preventing and blocking of virus category of the attacks or virus attacks. In the similar way, anti-malware. So it will prevent and block all malware category of the attack. Not only block, even it will do quarantine as well. So under the malware, we have different types of attacks. Those attacks we can discuss later, part of network and cyber attacks. Examples of the malwares. So virus, worm, Trojan, ransomware. It's one of the dangerous attack.
Logic bomb.
Botnet, rootkit. No, brute force will fall under authentication failure category.
Logic bomb.
Yeah, logic bomb. PUP, potentially unwanted program. Adware, spyware, keyloggers. All these will fall under so malware category of the attacks. These malware category of the attacks will be prevented by anti-malware solution. So anti-malware is a solution basically. Okay. Now EDR.
RK, 1 minute. So
Yeah,
one thing is, when we are using anti-malware, what is the need of antivirus?
it's
Because
not
it
required.
does,
Yeah, same thing. You are right. It's not required antivirus solution. Directly you can purchase anti-malware and you can deploy. So because virus is a subset of malware.
Yeah. So basically, this would be like a subset antivirus. This one would be subset of anti-malware, right?
Exactly, that's correct.
Okay.
There is no need to purchase separately antivirus. Directly you can purchase anti-malware tools.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, EDR. This EDR full form is endpoint detection and response. It's one of the trending technology under the endpoint security. Okay, so now this is also called as NGAV. So NGAV full form is
Next generation antivirus.
exactly next generation antivirus. So what is the difference between traditional antivirus versus EDR, and what is the so EDR versus XDR, that I can discuss in-depth analysis more into endpoint security. Just I will give now example. EDR is also called as next generation antivirus, and it will prevent and block all malware category of the attacks. Only detection methods are different, and also threat hunting is different, and also integrating with some other third-party tools like virustotal.com, MITRE attack framework, integrating with open source tools like google.com. All those capabilities, they're part of the EDR. But traditional antivirus will not support all these capabilities or features. That is one point. Second feature is in between traditional antivirus versus EDR. So traditional antivirus will support only signature based or heuristic approach or else baseline method only. But on the other hand, so EDR or next generation antivirus will support machine learning capability, behavioral pattern, artificial intelligence capability. One of the unknown threat is entering into the organization side. It will throw an error or alert stating that your organization is going to get compromised. So that is the beauty of EDR. So, and also it will identify unknown category of the attacks alert notification as well. So that is the main difference between traditional antivirus versus EDR. Don't get confusion here. We will discuss in-depth analysis part of the endpoint security. Okay, there are so many vacancies are there dedicated to EDR. So today one of the global cyber security outage from Microsoft. So most of the systems are getting compromised. Still that attack is going on. So a lot of banking sector and travel based industries like airports and also finance based companies, healthcare industries, supermarkets, all those systems are getting compromised because of one of the vulnerabilities existing part of the Microsoft. This particular issue was identified by the CrowdStrike. So in-depth analysis I will provide by tomorrow. So what are the appropriate actions has taken care by Microsoft and what are the remediation steps? So right now it is Microsoft team is working on, and so currently reverse engineering and instant investigation analysis is taking care of Microsoft cyber security incident response team. That is also called as a SOC. So that is like unknown category of the attack. So example, practical scenario, whatever it's happened today, I was explaining same thing simultaneously. So it will prevent and block all malware category of the attacks. But it has advanced feature, that's all. So that is about EDR. Next one is XDR. So XDR full form is extended detection and response. Nothing but it will take care of the automated incident response as well, and it has a playbooks configuration. So till 2022 we are using EDR. Now EDR is replaced by XDR. So how this XDR capability will work? Whenever any unknown category of the attack, it will appear based on the behavior or real-time monitoring, and also based on the suspected capability. So XDR, it will create automatically playbooks or manual playbooks we have to create. Backend, they will use Python or PowerShell. We no need to worry about Python or PowerShell. What are customized playbooks are created by these EDR or XDR tools, we can use that one and we can go and we can create computer algorithm, how the attacker will do hacking part and what is the automated incident response we have to take care. So it has advanced features as compared to traditional antivirus and also EDR. So that is the main importance of the XDR. It will also prevent and block all malware category of the attacks. So that is about XDR, and we have NDR. So NDR full form is network detection and response. So in the network side, as I said previously, just 10 to 15 minutes back, we have firewall, proxy, network IDS, network IPS. So that tools are not sufficient to take care of the perimeter security or network security. So nowadays, what attack is trying to do, so they are trying to identify what is the netted IP, and also even they are trying to identify bypassing of the firewall, and they are directly compromising firewall itself. So that is the reason NDR has a capability of based on the signature based on the machine learning capability and behavioral pattern capability and real-time monitoring capability, automatically it will detect the respective flooding category of the attack, spoofing category of the attack, like DOS, DDoS, TCP flood, UDP flood, so ICMP flood, in the similar MAC flood or ARP flood. Additionally, spoofing category like IP spoofing or email spoofing, those things can be detected, and also it will block it automatically. So that is the importance of the NDR. It will prevent and block all network category of the attacks like flooding or spoofing automatically. So that is about NDR. And we have one more concept is called MDR. It is nothing but managed detection and response. So what is this managed detection response? It is almost equals to SOAR capability. So nothing but whatever SIM tool will take care of the centralized log collection, log management, log processing, and also log analysis, instant alerting, and also forensic analysis and instant investigation. So that is basically SIM tool will do capability or functionality. But what is MDR? MDR not only it will do the alert notification identification, but also it will take care of the mitigation as well as a automated response. So that is subset of SOAR capability basically. So that is called managed detection response. SIM tool by the by, it will not block it. So SIM tool will take care of the only monitoring part only, alerting part only. So as a cyber security analyst, part of L1, L2 and L3, we will take care of the instant investigation analysis and also will take care of the forensic analysis. So, but MDR will do not only detection, alerting, and also alarm notification, even it will take care of the blocking and preventing as well. So that is called MDR. It will prevent and block all category of the attacks, not only just malware category, even it will take care of the flooding, spoofing, WASP top 10, and also authentication failure category and everything. EDR is dedicated to malware category, XDR also dedicated to malware, NDR dedicated to network-based flooding and spoofing, MDR, it will take care of all category of the attacks. So that is the main difference between these four. In-depth analysis, as I said, we will discuss more whenever these endpoint security, network security, and cyber security we are going to discuss. So that is about these four definitions. Next one is IDS. Today interview question by the way. Intrusion detection system. So by the name itself, it is suggesting that it will do only detection, but it will not do prevention. It will not do blocking as well. So that is called IDS basically. How we can define this one in technical terminology? Whenever any suspicious or malicious or abnormal activity is happening in the organization, IDS will only detect, but it will not prevent or block. So that is called IDS. So opposite to IDS, we can call, there are different types of IDS IPS. I will explain in a couple of minutes. Next one is IPS. So IDS is almost equals to SIM tool. SIM tool also it will do detection and also alerting only. So IDS also it will do detection alerting only. So these two almost equal, but SIM tool is centralized console. All the tools we will integrate it to SIM tool. So but IDS dedicated to endpoint side and also wireless side and also network side only. Okay. Now IPS, intrusion prevention system. So what this intrusion prevention system will do, same as it is as I said. So it will prevent and block all attacks related to network or host or wireless. It will do detection and also it will do prevention as well. Nothing but blocking. So that is about IPS. Whenever any malicious or abnormal activities happen, IPS will take care of the detection and also blocking or prevention. So that is IDS. So there are different types of IDS and IPSs we have. Just now I said one is HIDS and HIPS. Nothing but host IDS and host IPS. So second one is NIDS, NIPS. So nothing but network IDS, network IPS. Last one WIDS and WIPS. It's wireless oriented, Wi-Fi monitoring basically. So wireless IPS. So these are the three different types of IDS IPS. We do have part of the endpoint network and wireless side. Okay, so that is about, so types of the IDS IPS. So these design, deployment, implementation, we will discuss at the time of the endpoint security, network security, and wireless security. So next one is agent. So agent also called as sensor. So this sensor is also called as a collector. Couple of vendors related to EDR, DLP, encryption, file integrity monitoring, HIDs, HAPS. All the endpoint security solutions completely will work on agent and server based approach, or else agent or so tool based approach. This is the way how the endpoint security solutions will work. So now what is agent or sensor or collector? It is a piece of software will be provided by vendor. So now where we have to install this piece of software? We have to install in each and every end user system and also in the server. We have to install agent on each and every end user system or server. For example, so in my laptop, you can see McAfee. So I purchased McAfee and I installed in my personal laptop. So it will detect and it will block all malware category of the attacks. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't go with your personal related, or sorry, not personal. So please go with, okay, so um, I mean license based virus and you can install. So that may be most of the people will use Avast or Norton or maybe AVG. All these are free of cost. It is only for 1 month. So this will cost approximately 300 rupees. And this particular, okay, so antivirus or EDR agent we have to install in each and every end user machine. Now, so fortunately or unfortunately, accidentally or unaccidentally, if I'm downloading any virus or malware category of the attack, so maybe copying through pen drive or maybe through clicking on the malware attachments or maybe downloading something from the website. In that scenario, in my personal laptop, whatever McAfee agent I installed, it will block it automatically based on the signature and based on the respective machine learning capability. So this is called basically, so agent. This agent, we have to install each and every computer. So this agent will communicate to respective endpoint security tools. Those tools are EDR, DLP, encryption, file integrity monitoring, and network IDS and network IPS. So this is the way how the all endpoint security tools will work. Okay. So whatever agent just now I have shown to you, it's a completely, so one of the piece of software. So once I purchase that particular piece of software, now I installed that particular software in my personal laptop using license key. And so whenever any malware category of the attacks will occur, automatically it will block by my McAfee agent. Same way, in the organization point of view also, we have to install this agent on the every computer, that may be laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop or server. Now, whenever abnormal or malicious or suspicious malware category of the attacks or data loss or a data leak or integrity changes or abnormal activity identification and prevention and also encryption. So automatically this agent will communicate it to our centralized tool, and that tool, it will take care of the respective actions that may be allow or block or quarantine or maybe clean. So that is the way how it will work. So I explained about implementation also just now. Explained about how it will work also explained. But don't worry, all these topics will discuss in-depth analysis part of our endpoint security. Okay. So now server. So what is server? Every time we are using server client, server client, server client. So basically server, what it will do, it will provide services to, so endpoints, that one we can call it as a clients. Okay. For example, maybe you are withdrawing some money from ATM server or ATM machine. So you are an end user now, and the server here is ATM machine. So whatever you are going to withdraw the money, you will enter the respective PIN number and also transaction amount. Automatically server can identify and it can give the respective money to you. So that is the way, as a client, you are getting the services from the server. So server will provide services to the respective machines or endpoints. Those machines we can call it as a client. Then what is client? Client will get the services or process from the respective, so tool or server. So that is called server part, sorry, client. So don't think like in our project point of view. So client is different. Client is nothing but customer or whatever services we are providing to the respective client. That is also, maybe we can say example, maybe TCS. TCS is like a server, and whatever services it is providing, because consulting and service based company, to the respective clients maybe, so Bank of America or maybe so Morgan and Stanley Bank or Commonwealth Bank or Australia New Zealand Bank. Now services are provided by TCS. It will act like a server, and the clients here nothing but Commonwealth Bank or Australia New Zealand Bank or Bank of America, and also so Morgan and Stanley. So that is also one of the practical example. Okay, so server will provide services to end machines or hosts is called as client. So now what is client? Client will get services from server. Okay, so that is the difference between client and server. Okay, so now we can go to WAF. What is WAF full form? Web application firewall. So what is this web application firewall it will do? It will prevent and block all OWASP top 10 category of the attacks. So what is meant by this one? 1 second, guys. Give me 1 minute. Apologies, guys. So WAF, it's a web application firewall. So what this WAF will do, it will prevent and block all WASP top 10 category of the attacks. Those attacks is nothing but so application category of the attacks. It will prevent and block all OWSP top 10 category of the attacks. So it will fall under the application security basically. So WASP top 10, it's one of the organization, and they will conduct some survey and they will define top 10 category of the attacks. Not only WASP top 10, even we have SANS top 25. It is also one of the organization. They will provide top 25 application category of the attacks. For example, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm clicking on here, as I said, it's one of the organization or institution. They will conduct survey by approaching the different types of customers or clients. So those customers or clients may be, so they will go with TCS or Infosys or Wipro or HCL or Tech Mahindra. And so then they will take some survey or feedback. So in 2024 or 2023, what are the top 10 application side attacks we observed? Like a sampling theorem. So they will take the samples by conducting survey or feedback, and finally they will make top 10 attacks. Most of the organization, whenever they are making application security, mobile security or product security, they will always will follow against WASP top 10. Okay. So, and we have recent list also, not recent, I think recent one also. Yeah. Yeah. 2017 and 2021. So these are all the top 10 attacks related dedicated to application side, part of SDLC life cycle. software development life cycle. Each and every phase of the respective SDLC life cycle. So attacker will try to do couple of insecure design, cross-site scripting attacks, SQL injection attack, broken authentication, broken access control, server-side request forgery, client-side request forgery, session hijacking, insufficient logging and monitoring, man-in-the-middle attack, and so on. So these attacks, now which tool it will detect and block it or prevent it? What is the tool name I said?
Web application firewall.
WAF.
Exactly, web application firewall. It's a WAF. Okay, clear? So that is our WAF. Now WASP top 10. So what just now we discussed, it is an institution or organization. It will conduct survey. And finally, they will make top 10 category of application layer. As per OS layer, it is layer number 7 attacks. Okay, so that is WASP top 10. And initially WASP is conducted survey on 2010. Later they conducted survey on 2013. Later they provided top 10 attacks part of 2017. Most recent one is 2021. Okay, so that is about WASP top 10 category of the attacks. It's dedicated to application side part of SDLC lifecycle. Okay. Now, OS layers. So why OS layers we will use? So daily basis we will use OS layers, but you don't know where we are using these OS layers. So from your mobile, whenever you are transferring money to in PhonePe or Google Pay or Paytm, or maybe you are accessing Facebook, or maybe you are accessing any other application. In that scenario, we will use basically part of OS layer approach. It will provide end-to-end communication in between peer-to-peer, or else user to server, or else client to server, or else client to database, and so on. So that particular communication using open system interconnection, using International Telecommunication Unit, part of ISO, International Standard Organization, they invented in 1984. Okay, so that is about OS layer approach. Mainly this one, so where we are using, so we are using part of the, so whenever we are accessing any website, for example, maybe I'm accessing ICICI Bank. Now, in this scenario, I'm using OS layer approach. Whatever website I open, it will follow all the 7 layers. So ICICI Bank, it's like a application or website. It's application layer number 7. And whatever session it is established, and whatever data it is transferred from one format to another format, that's a presentation layer. In between my web browser to ICICI Bank, part of the ICICI Bank server, so it is established a session using token based. So then, so part of the transport layer in between my laptop to ICICI Bank at server, it will complete TCP 3-way handshake, and in such a connection will be established. And after that, in the network layer, whenever I'm accessing this ICICI website, IP packets, it will send part of the network, whatever WAN I'm using or PAN I'm using in my home. And finally, physical layer, not physical data link layer, frames will be converted using GSLV or PSLV or air or water as a media. And finally, part of the physical layer, computer will understand, nothing but my laptop will understand 0 and 1. That is also called raw bits. Computer will not understand. So our decimal pattern or hexadecimal or octa or binary 64 or binary 32, it will understand only raw bits. Those raw bits are 0 and 1. So this is the way. So whenever I'm accessing any website, not only me, everyone. So whenever they're accessing some of the applications, all these voice layer approach will fall under. So these places will use all the layers. This is the practical scenario. It's one of the practical interview question also. As an end user, you are accessing Google website. What is the backend process? What the answer you have to give?
OSA layer.
Exactly. It's a voice layer approach. Backend process, when end user I'm accessing to Google website, it will follow backend processes, voice layer approach. So they will not ask directly, explain about voice layers. Indirectly practical, our day-to-day life oriented, scenario oriented, they'll ask these type of practical scenarios. Okay, so but this answer we can give in the different ways also. So using SSL TLS mutual authentication, using so DNS server validation or resolution part also. Yeah, we can discuss more all these things part of the OS layers. I'm going back here. It will provide end-to-end communication in between peer-to-peer or client to server. When you say peer, it's nothing but neighbor device. Okay. So what is neighbor device for me? Now, right now, when I'm accessing ICICI Bank server. So for ICICI Bank server, who is peer? My laptop. So that is called peer-to-peer or client to server or client to database or end user to application using some of the protocols or guidelines defined by ISO in 1984. So these particular layers is called as OSA layers. Okay. So there are 7 layers that we can discuss in our Sunday class or Monday class. So next one, TCP IP layers. So there are 7 OSA layers. I will give there itself. There are 7 OSA layers. And in-depth analysis, as I said, we can discuss on Sunday. Next one, TCP IP layers. So when we can use this TCP IP layer analysis, most of the cases, whenever if you want to do troubleshooting part. So TCP IP layers are only 4. So those layers are application layer, transport layer, internet layer or network layer, and finally network interface layer. So these layers why we use, it's like advanced version of the OS layers. And most of the cases for packet capture analysis, intrusion detection analysis, intrusion prevention analysis, or any instant investigation, or if you want to do troubleshooting something, when I say troubleshoot, fixing of the problem or fixing of the issue. So those places will use TCP IP layers. So TCP IP layers are advanced version of OSA layers, and there are 4 TCP IP layers are there. There are 4 TCP IP layers. So what is the practical use scenario? So packet capture analysis or troubleshooting analysis or intrusion analysis. Okay, so all the incident investigations, fixing, we'll use these TCP IP layers. Okay. That is about TCP IP layers. Next one is TCP three-way handshake. So this one I'll explain tomorrow. So yeah, we have a couple of other definitions as well. So tomorrow I'm planning to take class at 8 a.m. So I will share my. Anyone is working tomorrow? Does anyone is working tomorrow?
No,
Hi, RK, this side Sandeep here.
Yeah, please.
Tonight I'm logging in night shift to support my project. So maybe anyway, I'll be having the recording. No, I'll follow that. No issues.
Okay, thank you so much, Sandeep. Really appreciate.
Yeah. Thank you once again.
You're welcome. So then tomorrow 8 o'clock I will take this session.
RK, do we have session?
Only 1 hour. Why? Because if I am stretch, if I'll give to sorry,
Do
if
we
I will
have?
take sorry, Priyanka, please go ahead.
No. Do we have session again in the evening?
Yeah, because I'm planning to take. Why? Because introduction itself not completed yet.
Okay.
So if I'm taking in such a way, these classes will take another 3 to 4 months. Because I'm not only covering cyber security, but also I'm covering, there are so many security technologies in this particular overall training sessions. Got it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's all for today, guys. And once again, I'm saying, please don't worry about all these new concepts. Couple of people are coming from not engineering background, or maybe I'm not discriminating anyone here related to what a bachelor of degree have done, but couple of concepts already there part of engineering and also master of computer applications like MCA. So, but in the normal bachelor of degree, these computer networks course is not there. So, but don't worry. So anyway, we forgot all those topics, what are we studied part of the engineering or MCA. So these topics, if you want to understand, it will take at least 1 week, because all these terminology is completely new to you and vocabulary is the new. So accent is a new. So these things it will take to digest, to adjust at least 1 week. So that doesn't mean that you should not give up. Okay. So please do hard work, and nothing is impossible. That's all.
So the person who knows these things on regular basis itself, having lots of things
Exactly. Whoever
running
is
in a
working,
mind. Yes, because someone is working on something else and now he's supposed to concentrate on this now. Even though he's something from the background from Unix. For example, take my example as well. I'm working in Unix, so I'm not taking anyone's. So instead of anyone, I'm taking my as example. Like I've been working since around 9 years. I have
yeah.
into Unix administration and Linux. I've worked on Linux, SUSE, X, Ubuntu. These many I worked on, but now it's coming to the background of network kind of things, because we worked on IPs, hosting, like how it goes and how the flow will goes. We know the things, but coming into the reality, the definition kind of thing is itself to. The person who knows the things itself, it is like we are wondering like, okay, this much of vast subject is there to learn on this.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Agree with you. 1000%.
Yes, like that's what I'm supposed to give, like heads up, like guys, if even though you are working or non-working, you are coming from irrespective of any background, so don't worry, like guys, we are all be in a same page, so we'll start from the we are all are beginners. Just I'm saying this word and take it this word and have start from as a beginner itself, because even though the working professional also, they'll start from beginning itself. Nobody is having much exposure on anything. So as RK said, like hard work that will gives a better result. That's it.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. Really good things and good words you have given to all the people. Really appreciate once again. Okay, guys, that's all for today. And thank you so very much for joining. And I will share the link, and also I will upload the video within 1 hour.
Okay, thank you, RK. RK, this is Sandeep here once again.
Yeah, please.
Tomorrow, can I connect with you personally? Like, I have some queries
Yes. Yeah,
based
you
on
can.
this course and everything. So I just want to know everything, like
You
based
can
on my
call
queries.
me after 9 p.m. today itself. No problem.
Today I'll be logging in by 9
Okay,
p.m.
fine then.
So
Yeah, tomorrow you can connect. Yeah, it's okay.
tomorrow the same time, like 9 p.m.
No, tomorrow after 9 a.m. once class is completed.
Okay, after 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. like in afternoon 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. Is it okay?
That is also okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. Thank you so much, RK. I'll connect then.
You're welcome. No problem. Okay, guys. Then thank you so much and good night and sweet dreams.
Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Who's that, like the person who works in shift? There is no happy weekend.
Okay, guys. Chalo.
Okay.
Bye.
Chalo,
Thank you.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Arke.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, sir. Bye.
Bye.